If you're in marketing, branding, or you just need stunning visuals for your work, you'll want to see what Caimera.ai brings to the table. I've been exploring AI imagery tools to help advise businesses to streamline their marketing. And I recently sat down with Kirti, co-founder of Caimera, whose platform is seriously leveling up the way fashion brands are creating stunning visuals. So let's dive in. Well, hi, Kirti. Nice to see you again. Let the audience know briefly who you are and about Caimera.
Thank you, Gore. Thank you so much for having me. Before I talk about myself, I want to talk about all the wonderful initiative you've been taking. You've been educating people and brands. Tomorrow, if we see mass adoption, I'm going to say that a
Thanks.
little bit of it is because of you. With that, hi, I'm Kirti. I'm the co-founder of Caimera. We're an AI photography tool. Brands, large brands, small brands, individual users use Chimera to create amazing, stunning fashion images. In front of us are three main technologies that we've built. The first one is called Fluid. The second one is called Click. And then you have Move on the right. Simply put, Fluid allows you to change the pose and the lighting on the garment, creating high-end editorial campaigns. Click allows you to keep 100% product accuracy because all it's doing is masking the area you want to keep consistent and generating everything else around it. And finally, you have Move, which is a video feature. You can upload a regular photograph, which is not an AI image, or an AI image, and convert that into a 5-second video. Brands have been using this to add videos to their product page, Instagram Reels that give them far more reach. Today, I'm going to be showing you Fluid, which is the first technology, and Click is about to go live in a few days. On the left is your control panel, where you're able to add a product or select an existing product from the list. In the middle is where you see your output images, and on the right is your history or gallery of images. You have a lot of editing tools here on the left, like a face editor, an expand tool, an upscaler, everything that you could possibly require to produce a high-end campaign in fashion. When we launched, I think a little over a year ago, we've been building this for 2 years now. We bagged one of the top 10 largest fashion brands in the world. You obviously own lots and lots of clothes off. That pushed us to produce higher quality imagery, more on the lines of photorealism. Today, we've been working with over 100 enterprise fashion brands and tons of small brands who are using the tool to create high-end visuals. So I'm going to click here to add a product, and it's asking me to upload a front, back, side, or a close up. Ideally, it actually only needs one image, but it helps to have many images because you can then take the closest pose to bring that garment into the image. So that's a shirt that I've uploaded. Fluid works best for smooth fabrics like cotton, crepe, silk. I would not do textured knitwear or embroidery or jewelry in Fluid. I'm going to say shirt is my product category because AI needs to understand what I needed to produce in the output and not the entire garment. And I'm going to choose shirt test one as the name of the product. And I'm choosing Chimera as the brand. I could choose any other brand name and then I would add the link to that website over here. Right now, I've actually entered the White Lotus mood board from Pinterest. I don't know if you watched the show, but the whole world is watching it. And that's how fashion works. People want to see themselves wearing clothes very
Right.
similar to their favorite show that they're watching. And I'm going to add product right here, which is going to take up 50 credits, which is somewhere between 7.5 to $5 depending on your volume. And then post that, everything on the app is free because this is a tool for creatives to achieve their final
Okay.
goal and they should not be penalized for trying harder. So I've come to the campaign ideas tool after adding my product, and this is going to help me what to generate. So I'd like editorial ideas from the tool. And for Instagram, I'm going to ask it to generate ideas. What it's doing is it's going to that Pinterest link, understanding the context in which I'd like to place this shirt. If it was a brand website, say Zara.com, right, then would go and read the text and images to understand brand's aesthetic and values and pitch me 4 unique campaign ideas. So these images are rough images right now. It's essentially to pitch the concept to me. And so it's placed the shirt on a woman right now and say, I want it to be on a man. I'm going to say, give me more ideas on a male model with a cane hat and sunglasses. So I'm asking it to give me four more ideas because I just rejected my AI agent's ideas. Um, it also knows the kind of shirt this is. It's reading that and it's reading the context in which one would wear it, which then matches the context
Right.
in which one would
And
buy
so
it
what
to
you
wear it.
what you're doing is you've built a backend, you've built a kind of your own software to control that capability for it to understand that and to see shapes, see certain kind of forms,
Correct.
and understand style.
Correct. And now, if I like any of the ideas, say I like Seaside Sophisticate, I can actually click on this button to give me more image ideas within that idea. You know, when you mood board for a fashion campaign, it's a large board with models, poses, the kind of backgrounds you'd like, and somebody's trying to comprehend by looking at 10 images. Here, you can already arrive at one image using our campaigns idea tool. So say I'm going to take coastal, the final idea that's right here. It merges sophisticated beat style with artistic elements, reflecting both the shirt's pattern and the brand's refined aesthetic. I'm going to select that and fire my shot. I did not have to do any prompting. So if you don't want to learn
Yeah.
prompting, you know, last year it was such a rage, right? Prompt engineers were like the biggest thing. We realized that the world was not going to adopt AI by learning how to
Yeah.
completely knowing how to prompt. So we have here an AI image assistant to which you can talk to in plain English language and it will generate the prompt for you. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can go into the model prompt and the background prompt and generate or change the actual specific
Yeah.
things within these. I have my image here, but while this is generating, I want to actually change the model to an African American model. I can just tell the AI image assistant, make the model African American. And I'm going to shoot one image. I clicked on one. If I clicked on the regular
Right.
shoot button, it fires four generations. Now, let's bring in the garment. Yeah, I like this image. I always love my first shot. So we're going to use the try on button here to bring in the actual garment. So let's find the pose that is pretty similar. I think this might struggle with this part is missing in the shirt in this actual image. So let's just select the flat lay. I like to draw my mask. You can also do automatic mask where without drawing, you
Right.
just say place the shirt on where the shirt is. I like to draw because I like to achieve the same pose, which gives me more control. So the tool is designed to have more control and less control at the same time. So should I want to just do auto, I would that would also work. Now, once I'm done generating and bringing the garment in, which is in progress right now, I can go right here, use the upscaler to upscale the image. We've been able to print out billboards using Chimera. It's that sharp and that high quality. You can use the expand tool to expand the image in different directions and it would imagine the scene in that direction. You can use our array of fashion models to bring them in. So we have a set of female
All
models,
AI generated.
male models, yes, and a lot of kids. You can also
Yeah.
upload your own model provided you have a license. You no longer actually even need to create a LoRa for a digital twin. You can just upload a single image of the
Yeah.
model and
So
it'll work.
for those who didn't understand Laura, so you're part of what you're doing in the background. So you've got your open source models that you're APIing to generate the imagery, and you've trained on top of them. You've created, I assume you've developed checkpoints for those models, but you've also attached specifically trained LoRa models that attach to the main base models. Also, when I upload my product onto Chimera and I have my 5 different images, essentially you're quickly training it on that as well. So you're creating like mini LoRa's with very
Correct.
little information. And that basically
Yeah.
constrains the AI and says, don't
Yeah.
go out into the general knowledge of my model that is obviously a lot of knowledge come from the internet and what they've trained on, so that you don't create unwanted noise in the image that you.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
I think we've
Okay.
been buying data from fashion brands for over 2 years now. That's revised a lot of the output, and that's why you
Right.
get very
Yeah.
fashion specific output. I'm just going to upscale this image here. Once I'm upscaling, I can download and we're done. Like that took us less than 15 minutes to produce
Yeah.
a shot.
I mean, I've used your platform. I do want to talk about the competition that's coming your way. I just, as an experiment, thought, okay, I'm going to go into ChatGPT because of its new AI image generation capability. I did the same thing. I uploaded this image. Hope they're okay with me using it. Um,
Mhm.
and I said to ChatGPT, okay, here's a product. And I used your prompt more or less. Create me a photo for an e-commerce site of a young Mediterranean male model, early 20s, athletic build, 45-degree angle, all the kind of stuff that you're doing. I said use an aspect ratio of 3:4. And it gave me an image that is not bad. Okay. I got the product right, which impressed me. It didn't get it perfect because the amount of buttons wasn't there. But I thought, okay, I got the texture. It kind of gave me what I'm looking for in the sense of, okay, I understood the prompt. Immediately, I said to myself, okay, the quality I'm getting here isn't at the level that Chimera is producing. But what it showed me is that with very little knowledge or resource, I can start kind of generating similar things. So I said, okay, I gave it a website to look at the same way you do. And it said, give me the style in the style of this. It didn't quite match it. It kept going in its own style. Created an image in Chimera, this one, which is excellent. You see, so this is created in Chimera. What I like about it is it looks photographic. Texture's right, the shirt's right, the lighting, it just looks like a photograph, Can ChatGPT achieve
Yeah.
that? Not quite. There's some issues, but it's getting there.
Look at the amount of horses in that carousel. Running out,
Yeah.
they're running out of the
So,
carousel.
so I gave it trousers and I tried to kind of generate it, and it would kept getting it wrong. Yeah. The reason I'm showing this is that on the one hand, we're not there yet. On the other hand, you've got also
Yeah.
applications coming out, open source people coming out, allowing me to in a similar way, just place an object, yeah, give it a prompt, and they're doing a similar thing.
Thousands,
So
thousands,
yeah,
thousands of
yeah,
them, Gur, every day. Anyone with any basic knowledge will be able to create this. And what I'm going to say, creating an AI image is not novelty.
yeah,
It's commodity because anyone can generate a image. I think that's not the big problem. The problem is
yeah,
what to generate, right? To make the sale. And
yeah,
just like, can you send an SMS today? Obviously, thousands of providers exist. You
yeah,
can buy a phone and send an SMS. When you start your company and you want to do SMS marketing at scale with the right communication, with the right time zones, with the right timing, you're going to buy
yeah,
a good product. That's the number one distinguishable competitive advantage that a good product will have or a successful product will have. Obviously, we have to remain ahead in image quality. We're about 2 years ahead in image quality. Will everyone get to where we are right now? Yes, but
yeah,
we will get further ahead.
yeah,
And I want to talk about creative control. It was hard. You were showing me what you had to do to create that image. You got the prompt from somewhere, right? And
yeah.
in Chimera, you
And
wouldn't have
that's
to.
what I think is the interesting thing about AI. Let's put it this way. If I was in a marketing department in a brand, and it doesn't have to be in fashion brand, because you guys can do other types of brands, other types of industries. So it could be accessories, it could be product based. If someone like me was in that department, I would probably say, okay, let's use Chimera, but I would have the capability to say, can I build a workflow on my own? And probably yes. But let's agree that most people aren't like me who go into the nitty gritty or have a background in film and animation and sales and marketing and all that. Absolutely, you need the human expertise. One of the things I appreciate is one, the image quality that you guys are producing is really, really good. I mean, it's photographic, absolutely on par with what the industry needs. Having generated a lot of imagery now with AI myself, the prompting is still part of the skill set. And you've actually spent a lot of time honing that, which I think it's an impressive thing to do because you've built in templates and made it easier for us. And I think that's a huge, huge bonus. People don't realize that. And I sometimes Midjourney and the other tools frustrate me because I have to now tweak the wording. It still requires your skill to be able to understand why is it giving you an image, not quite in the angle that you want. I'm kind of saying this to people who are listening that if you're in a fashion brand or if you're in a brand and you need to do marketing campaigns, the best thing to do is to approach Caimera to generate this kind of imagery. But on top of that, you yourself do need to learn for your own skill set, spend that time to understand what's going on with these models so that you can use Caimera better, or you can also work separately to that to tweak things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot coming from someone who's tried every tool there is. I think on two things that you just said. One is people creating their own workflow to figure it out across 15 tools. I think large enterprises are not fit for that because they require very strong policies around the use of AI, and they would rather work with one tool than actually, leak their data on several
Yeah.
platforms, especially fashion. Their designs before launch are secret, top secret. The other thing is that I've seen a couple of brands trying to do this, but by the time they launch and even generate a few images, everything has changed.
There's a new open source model now out, which I'm sure you're starting to use, yeah, HiDream. So for sure, it's impossible right now for people who are busy doing marketing and trying to sell their products to also keep up with that. However, I do think in a marketing department, in any business, there has to be a champion or two or three or whatever of people actually keeping track of all these changes so that while they're working with your platform, they are using Midjourney, they are using the other tools to understand, first of all, what to expect from you, and also to kind of work on the side and kind of complement what they get out of Caimera. They could do things on the side that are creative that you might not necessarily have that tool set yet.
I also feel that, like, a lot of people ask me that, aren't you afraid of sharing your tool so freely and everything so freely? I'm like, I might change everything,
Exactly.
and because it's changing, everything in technology is changing so fast that even if, people get to hear, we might be somewhere else by then.
Yeah, but could you give us any use cases, what the journey was with a client, even a recent project that you said, okay, we onboarded them, we got them to this stage, what the workflow was like, and also compare it to the traditional method of, because you're, again, something that you didn't introduce yourself fully, you're
Yeah.
someone who's owned a brand, you've been in fashion, you've create fashion products, so you know the industry inside out. So what was that use case that you could share?
The points at which a fashion brand needs to generate imagery. 10 years ago, they needed 1/10 the number of images they need every month right now because there just are way too many platforms for them to be present on, and each one demands very different type of content. Instagram, for example, demands video content right now, right? So even if you take a picture, you should convert it to video. When we used to do this, like a year and a half ago, we would have a 2 hour long call on how to use AI, and then an onboarding call on what doesn't work in AI. And we've tried to eliminate all of that to make it really not intimidating for someone. The challenge that we took upon ourselves is someone should be able to log in and intuitively produce an image within 10 minutes. And that output should convince them that this is something I want to spend a little bit more time learning. Last year, people wanted the full service and they were like, yeah, sure, you do it for me because I don't know how to do it. But I'm seeing a lot of people interested in just using it themselves this year. That really tells you that the world is opening up to AI.
Yeah. Walk us through like one of the recent clients that you without mentioning them, of course, if you can't,
Yeah.
what that process was convincing and actually working with them and what the effect was. Time and also budget. If you can kind of share, what would be the differences?
So we did our second campaign this year with one of the largest apparel retailers. It was a back to school campaign, and this was the second year that we were producing the campaign for them. In the beginning, everyone was just shocked. We did a demo with the content team, with the marketing team, with different stakeholders within the company, and trying to explain how AI generates images. There was a specific team that did not understand how AI learns and reproduces and the responsible aspects of AI, which we were able to very successfully demonstrate. And I want to tell people, even on this podcast, that people think that AI copies somebody's eyes and somebody's nose and sticks it together.
Yeah.
So it's like copying things, but that's not how it produces it. It's similar to going to, say, the Van Gogh Museum, learning what brush strokes look like, and coming home to make your own painting
Yeah.
from memory. That's learning as opposed to copying.
Yeah.
And so we were very successfully able to bring the brand into that phase of the first pitch on what AI can do for you, how it is responsibly done at Chimera, and then producing images that went live from input images to output on Instagram in 6 hours. We have the data from the brand. It led to 50% higher conversions and 50% lower cost per click. Should they have shot these images, they would have cost nothing less than $5,000, and they cost them $200 to do. That's it.
5,000, and you're saying $200 in total or $200?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in total. It's hard to say that one would spend this much because at every budget you can do everything in physical world in photo shoots, and you at every budget also do it in AI.
Yeah.
So it's all about the time and money you want to spend on your image. As you spend more time on your image, it becomes more expensive.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, because I'm projecting towards like a bigger brands who have to then go on location somewhere and send people out, and it does get to the tens of thousands of dollars. Obviously, a small brand, local brand, would spend, like you said, thousands of dollars for a photo shoot, a proper photo shoot. I mean, I spoke to a local brand, a lady who creates beachwear here, and I even said to her, why don't you use AI? You can do it this way, and even showed examples of yours. And it was hard. It's hard for people, especially small brands, smaller brands, to kind of actually say to themselves, okay, I can see the results good. Let me try it, because they know that the traditional way works. I think, like you said, people are moving towards understanding that this is the way to go, and it's inevitable. It's the only really cost-effective method.
A, it's inevitable. B, it's not going to replace real photo shoots. It will be a hybrid of both.
Okay.
You're just gonna, yeah, I really don't think that in the next 10 years you're gonna be like, there's zero photo shoots. There is a lot that you want to achieve with a real photo shoot sometimes. You might need a famous model that
Okay.
you want to work with. You want to capture the audience that loves her. It's a very different ball game. I mean, you might do it in AI still with her face, with her licensing, but I think you could get the emotion, the conversation she could be speaking. I think the joy of producing a physical campaign will still be there, and I think that both are going to complement each other. Brands might also alternate between physical shoots and AI shoots.
Even because of the cost effectiveness, you think there will be some element of physicality because of live events, things happening in the real world that you want to capture.
Yeah.
But I think that, like you said, that hybrid, that immediacy of being able to capture an image and alter the image, retouch the image through AI, but then create campaigns from that are purely AI, that's where they merge. But if I
Yeah.
need a specific photo shoot of a certain model on a beach, come on, why are we going to go through that effort? Why am I going to call in whatever famous name to get her on a plane to come to that beach once the quality is at the level that
Yeah.
you really can't tell the difference? So
I feel like one day we're going to have like photo shoots as almost like a tourist destination. The people are going to sell,
yeah,
people are going to sell tickets to real photo shoots. I feel like everyone in that community there will be lesser, but they will get paid more because a real photo shoot will become even more expensive. Just like today, if you were to go and buy an analog camera, it is more expensive. So yeah, I think it's only going to be more exclusive.
Having gone through my experience with AI imagery and seeing what you guys are up to and what others are up to, I can see that you've hired the right people because it's all about currently the human expertise training themselves and being creative with this. Talk about your team, how you kind of focused on those expertise. What is it about? What were you looking for? And what would you also recommend people listening here who are not going to use Chimera necessarily, want to learn about this kind of stuff? What is it that they need to be honing in terms of skill sets?
I think the ability to visualize a scene before they start producing it is extremely important. If you are not able to imagine, then you will let AI give you options and take it in a direction that you didn't have the vision for.
Yeah.
And even if that vision is a brief from a client, then you should be able to imagine the mood board together in one image and then navigate AI to produce it. And I've seen that people who are very good with language, people who are copywriters, art directors, or creatives in their regular life before they were into AI image generation actually make very good team to be able to do this. People who can empathize with the fears of their clients.
Right.
Because outsourcing an image or even producing an image on their own on a completely new platform can be so daunting. And finally, I think culture, right? From day one, we're now almost 30 people. And I just went through like performance appraisals, and everyone gave me the consistent same feedback that it's such a high performing environment without the stress of it.
Yeah.
And so we've very cautiously maintained a very, very creative culture, which eliminates stress from external sources to bother relationships within the company.
Okay.
Because there's enough stress in the world outside.
Yeah.
And can we create a space for each other, which is respectful, nurturing, learning? We've very successfully been able to create this very cool environment within the team of high performing individuals that truly love where they are.
Yeah, very good. I wanted to ask about the future. So we touched on the fact that competition's coming, it's already there, and also the big players, be it OpenAI, but I think the big players, one of them is going to definitely be Google. So how do you stay ahead? Ensure that you stay relevant, a service and a product that keeps you growing, keeps you going.
I think number one thing is to stay focused on the category, because large companies like Google, by the way, they launch everything and they also kill everything pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I would not feel a threat or competition from large players because they try their hand at everything. To be really good at this industry and to be really good supplier or vendor to the fashion industry, you need to be extremely educated on what they want and deliver a very niche product and service. I think that's number one. We're not digressing. Can Chimera produce cars? Yes. I've done blenders, I've done washing machines, I've done a car recently. Am I going to start pitching it to car brands? No.
Because you have to learn a different language. You'll have to have a separate team to deal with that.
My technology is focusing on fabric reproduction. Why
Yeah.
will I start talking about metals? And that changes everything because that brings in a certain quality of product and output for a specific type of customer that you are choosing earlier on. You're able to build faster. You're able to get the faith of the customer. You're able to deliver accurate output on really what they want. Like I said, that we're so close to our customers' requirements that we're building everything full stack. Today, even if you had to produce an image, say on ChatGPT, I mean, what all would you have to go through to get one image? It's actually more expensive than taking a photo.
Yeah, it's expensive. I wouldn't say more expensive, but it's expensive because my time is spent on that. And
Yeah.
suddenly that's all I end up doing. And so
Yeah.
you're paying me a
And if you
salary
have
to
to
do that.
achieve, yeah, if you have to achieve the accurate lighting, location, styling, you wanted it with a certain bag, etc., it would take a lot more time. And so that is definitely something that we're going to do. Stay focused, keep building, keep being the first ones to launch every single innovation in AI, and bring them to your customers first. I
Right.
think that's super important.
I assume being modular is all very important to you
Hmm.
for building this application so that you can say, okay, Flux or Stable Diffusion, whichever model you're using, they're great. They're giving us this quality images that we just saw, but now High Dreams come out and it's literally already better. Yeah. Let's flip on a switch, go to High Dream, but you need to test that out. So it's being dynamic. I mean, you have to be now because
I
of the
think
speed of change.
Yeah, and I think we're a good marriage of tech and business understanding between me and Prateek. While he's looking at what is coming in next, we are always looking at what the customer is looking for next.
Yeah.
You might have noticed that the video, PDP video, became quite a rage just about 2 months ago. We were instantly very quick to launch it too, and making sure that your user does not need to step out of the tool.
Yeah.
They are very happy and content. Finally, to build a large company is not a use case, it's operational excellence, right? It's how do you build a large operational game which doesn't fall through at any step of the process, be it onboarding, be it generations, being customer care. I think being able to structure a very efficient company, that's my skill. I've always worked in large enterprises,
Hmm.
and those were almost 100-year-old companies. I think that that's where I've learned that from, and always enjoy reproducing that excellence.
Like I said, I'm impressed with the imagery. So what you guys built is great, and I've also seen the trajectory. So I remember the earlier images. I see what the images are like now, and for me to generate those kind of images, it requires work. So, I mean, there's tweaks and things. If I was your user, your customer, I'd be probably a pain in the ass customer because I'd say, okay, I want to be able to control this. I want to be able to control that. I want to be able to compose my image as if I'm composing a storyboard, for film. I want my characters here. I want a tree there, and I know you can do it. The
Yeah.
question is, how am I an outlier, or are you seeing that actually we do need to start introducing more control for the customer? Because right now I'm still at the mercy a little bit of the AI. That's what I felt, yeah. But that's currently AI. We are at the mercy of what it
Look,
generates. Yeah.
I think there are both kind of customers in the world. There are people who don't want any uncertainty,
Mm.
because high control will also bring in copious amounts of uncertainty,
Yeah.
which means that you will have the freedom to prompt, and you might get 3 legs, 5 legs, right? And if you have less control, you have a very predictable output. Many people love that. They
Yeah.
don't want to press more than a button. And I think that both values exist and both use cases will exist.
Somebody's telling us that it's enough is enough. It's just great to see what you guys are up to. I'm looking forward to seeing the evolution of it further. I think video is going to be a big thing for you guys as well.
We're launching a video prompt editor today.
Okay.
So far, you just uploaded the image and it created a preset video for you with direction already decided. But now we're offering an editor as well today.
Okay, cool.
Every day is launch day.
So thanks for giving us. I mean, I'm the kind of person who can keep digging in and wanting more to know more, but that gives a taste to the viewers, I think, of anyone in fashion working at a brand in the fashions and accessories world. I would definitely recommend. I'm going to add the link to Caimera at the description of this video. You can reach out to them, and yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And yet again, thank you for doing this. It's going to help so many people.
So that's Caimera. Honestly, if you're in marketing in fashion or accessories or the retail world, then this platform is a game changer for you. If you want to reach out to Caimera, then the link is in the description of the video, or drop your thoughts in the comment section, or if you want me, I can connect you to them. So if you like the video, click the like button and do subscribe for more AI insights. If you want to know about Midjourney and how that can help you generate great imagery, then click on this video link here. Or if you want to see another good AI design tool called Recraft and how that works, click on this video link here.